Hey, this is Greg. I'm an education advocate for Mote, and what I'd like to share with you today is how we can leverage Mote to create guided reading experiences, and we'll specifically look at 4 ways that we can increase accessibility to reading experiences and reading content for students by using Mote across a number of different Google environments and Google platforms. So let's get right into it. So in terms of the concept that we're going to explore, the driving question that I really like to consider here is how might we create reading experiences that are accessible to all students by providing scaffolding to support all learners with audio. So whether we're working in an elementary classroom and we have some emerging readers and we want them to read in a Google Slides environment, I'll show you how we can leverage Mote to create a more accessible learning experience. If we're working with high school students and we want them reading web-based content, we'll walk through the process of using sticky notes, a brand new feature with Mote, to be able to create increased accessibility and connection with your students by adding audio to web-based content. So let's get into it and begin exploring. So some of the foundational principles behind why we should create these guided reading experiences with audio include providing clarification for students, that kind of just-in-time, on-demand support that we can embed audio into any reading environment. We can scaffold the experience, so some students might need the audio provided. Simply by using a Google environment, we could always create one reading experience, duplicate it for students, and add the audio as needed. We can support independent learners, so if students are engaged with this reading content at home, they don't have to be on their own. We can essentially duplicate ourselves and be in multiple places at once by using Mote with audio. We can create personal connections with our students so they can hear our voice. We might read the entire passage to them. We might provide insight when they're about to read the passage. So we can examine guided reading from a lot of different perspectives. Removing barriers is super important to me, and I think we have to remove any technical barriers, confidence barriers, which I mentioned next here, to just give students the ability to engage with independent reading practice, and we're going to demonstrate how Mote can support all of that. So the first environment that we're going to get into is creating guided reading with audio inside of a Google document. So we can actually use audio cards with Mote to embed the reading directly into a document and then have pop-up audio via small Mote cards. So as a student is reading, if they see any bit of text that is hyperlinked, the Mote audio will pop up right below that. And we're going to jump into that demonstration right now. So as you can see here, I'm inside of a Google document. What I've done already is taken a reading that I might use with my class, and I've pasted the reading into a Google document. Now, to add my Mote cards and have this embedded audio experience, what I'll do is go up to my browser in my Google Chrome browser and tap on the Mote extension. And you can see here I have the ability to record using the Chrome extension. I'm not going to insert a comment in the document like you may have done in the past. I'm going to use the Mote extension. So here we go. Here is an example of me creating an audio file with Mote using the Chrome extension. When I'm done recording this, I will simply tap done, and then the copied link to this Mote audio will automatically be added to my clipboard. What I can then do in the Google document is use the hyperlinking feature to make any word, passage, or even image clickable, and I'll show you momentarily how the audio card will be embedded directly in the reading. So I'll hit done. It's saving immediately, and notice your Mote was copied to your clipboard. If you'd like, you can copy it again right here. So we have the date and the duration of that audio file. Now, if I wanted to provide a little insight, I could do something like click here to listen before you begin the reading. I will highlight the words click here to make it really clear for my learners, use the hyperlinking function, and then simply paste the link to that audio file right inside the document. If students have the Mote extension installed, when they click on the indication and the hyperlink to click here, this is what they'll see, an embedded audio card directly in the document where they can click to listen. Here's an example of... There we go. Now, if you wanted to provide some clarification, you might highlight a passage in the reading. I might highlight this phrase here. And again, I would record my Mote audio, use the hyperlinking feature, paste the link, and now embedded directly in the reading is clarification. So there's our first approach by creating accessible guided reading with audio in a Google document. Let's move on to the next idea, a new feature that everyone at the Mote team is super excited about, the sticky Mote feature. Now, this is ideal when you're possibly working with older students, upper elementary, middle high school students, where you're going to give them web-based reading content, and you want them to be able to open the content on the web, but hear you with audio supporting them and clarifying their experience. So let's jump into that feature right now. Here I am on the web. I have a web-based reading about the Boston Massacre from the Smithsonian Magazine website, and I might want my students to read this. What we're going to do again with the most updated version of Mote running in our Chrome browser is tap on the Mote extension. We will record our voice. So welcome to the reading on the Boston Massacre. So what I want you to really focus on when you're engaged with this reading, and I would go on to give clarification, explain, provide insight, maybe explain some complicated portions of the reading, generally prepare my students for the reading and guide them through it and support them with audio. Now when I'm done, I will hit done. Now notice that has been copied to my recent Motes. But what I need to do now to make this a sticky Mote experience is to go to My Activity and Engagement. That new page will pop up, and you can see here from smithsonianmag.com, we have my sticky Mote. Now, if I would like to push this directly to Google Classroom, I can do that right here. Or if I would simply like to curate this link and maybe post it to another learning management system, I can view the landing page here. Either way will work perfectly fine. Again, push directly to Google Classroom or simply copy the link. What I'm going to do is view the landing page to show you what it would look like from the student perspective if they have the Mote extension installed. So we'll tap on that. Notice it's checking the link 3, 2, 1. It's redirecting the student. And this is what they will see. You can see we have this little Mote audio file that's directly embedded in the website on the reading that I've given them. Students can drag this around, so if they want to focus on a specific portion of the reading, they might drag the audio card there. I can even direct them to, hey, let's move down to, the second portion of the reading. They can click play. So welcome to the reading on the Boston. There you go, and that's embedded directly in that web-based content using the sticky Mote feature. Now the students would have to have the Google Chrome extension installed to get this completely embedded experience. So we've covered 2 ideas. Let's shift on to idea number 3 to create guided readings. What we can do here is use Mote to create a guided reading experience inside Google Slides. The advantage to taking this approach is Google Slides is super modular. So if you have multiple readings or a reading broken up into different passages, you might create part 1, 2, and 3 in Google Slides. The other advantage to this approach is if your students do not have the Mote extension installed in their browser, they can still play that audio back with that small embedded audio file. Let's take a look about how this might play out. What I've done here is taking a reading that I used to use with my history students, Plato's Allegory of the Cave. I've taken screenshots of the reading and added them in as screenshots, image files on slide 1 and slide 2. Now on slide 1, if I need my students to have increased support, accessibility, or clarification, what I'll do is tap on the Mote extension as it appears in Google Slides. We will get this pop-up. I will record my voice. Welcome to our first reading of Plato's Allegory of the Cave. I'm super excited to explore all this with you. And before we get started, I just want to set the stage and provide a little bit of context before you read the first passage. So I would go on to explain and clarify. There's my audio file. I will tap Insert, let Mote work its magic, and momentarily I will have an audio file appearing on my slides. So there we have that nice audio. Now I can drop this according to the passage where I would like them to read. I can add this anywhere I like. Now we can get really handy with this as well. I might do something like add some kind of like notification or clarification of what that audio file is connected to. I might insert a shape, for example. We'll go to our equation shapes, and I might grab one of these brackets. And if I drop this in here, and this would be a really clear indicator to the student now that that passage is connected to this specific audio file. So we can see there we have that passage with a nice inserted shape, and they have the audio file. Now we can also do some really interesting things if we'd like to. If we tap on that audio file and tap on format options, we have the ability here to make adjustments to this. We can increase the transparency if we like. We can make adjustments to the color as well. So I might make that a bit darker, make it semi-transparent, and then it kind of blends in with the whole context of the reading. So there's idea number 3, and we have one more concept to explore. What we're going to look at now is how we can create guided reading experiences in Google Forms. So using the Mote extension, we can add audio directly into a Google form. Now the benefit to doing this, if we have a screenshot of a reading, we can add audio, and in this context, we might also want to add formative check-ins or kind of reflection questions along the way that can also be supported with audio. So let me show you what this mock-up would look like. You notice here I'm already in a Google form. I have guided reading in Google Forms, a question for the student's name, and then I did a section break and added reading passage 1. Now, what I've also done ahead of time is I've inserted an image into the form and I dropped in the same screenshot of the reading that I used before. I like to do this because it creates a really nice full screen reading experience. Now, before the student starts reading, I might want to provide some audio introduction, clarification, or just kind of set the stage for what they're about to read. So what I've done here is added a multiple choice question, and I have only one response. I have listened to the audio overview and I'm ready to read. So I'm having the students confirm that they've consumed that audio content. Now with the Mote Chrome extension installed, here we have this little Mote audio, and I'll begin my recording. Welcome to the first passage of the allegory of the cave. So what I'll do with this audio file is provide a bit of context and get you prepared and ready to read. I'll stop. My audio file gets added, and as soon as I click on the next element, you'll see that that's how the audio file presents. If the students have the Google Chrome extension installed, they will have that embedded audio experience directly in the form, and then you can see they can click, I have listened to the audio overview and I'm ready to read. What I also might do, just to kind of confirm that, is after this multiple choice question, I might even add in a section break. And this is how it will present for the learner. Let's go to the live view of the form. So they add in their name, they hit next. Here's the audio file. Welcome to the first. They can confirm, I've listened, I'm ready to go. They can click, I've listened, hit next. Here's the audio passage. Now what you can absolutely do as well is below that passage, you might simply add another question, and we can do something like passage 1, reflection. And we'll make that required. And this is where we could always add our audio file again. And the beauty of Mote in Google Forms is students even have the ability, with the Mote extension installed, to reply with audio. So there we have it. We've covered all of the ideas on creating more accessible guided reading experiences with Mote across all Google platforms. So hopefully one of these resources will be a great fit and you can begin creating guided audio reading experiences with Mote in your Google environment. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you back soon with another video walkthrough using Mote in really powerful and creative ways.